Man, what an absolute disaster as the Philadelphia Eagles collapse, okay? I mean, like, epically collapsed. This has to be one of the worst collapses that I could remember in NFL history. They already had one of the worst collapses of the regular season, and then they took that same performance into the playoffs. And what was I thinking? All right, and if you was like me, what were you thinking? Did you think that somehow magically this Philadelphia Eagles team was going to flip a switch and all of a sudden get their shit together and get things back in gear and get out there and just remember that they was the football team that went to the Super Bowl last year? Well, this ain't that football team. And we've been saying this all year. We haven't wanted to believe it because, listen, as fans, this is what you do as a fan, okay? All right? And this is normal, all right? So there's nothing that make you think that you're crazy as a fan, because as a fan, you believe. As a fan, you hope. As a fan, you dream, okay? Okay, you hold on to what you know. You hold on to yesterday. You hold on to those memories, okay? And it wasn't that long ago, okay? This Philadelphia Eagles team started out 10-1. Now, regardless of what you say of how that 10-1 came, okay? This Philadelphia Eagles team beat some very good opponents in the beginning of this year, okay? All right? In the first 11 weeks of this season, this Philadelphia Eagles team beat a lot of good opponents. I'm not going to go through those opponents because it doesn't matter at this particular point in time, all right? But this team was finding ways to win. There was something said about this team being able to find ways to win, okay? Now, this team does nothing but just find ways to lose. In what pathetic fashion? You know, every time I think that the Eagles have gone out and played their worst game, they find a way to come out in the next week and play even worse. Even worse. Okay, it started with San Francisco, and then it rolled into Dallas. Then they tried to get it together in a game against Seattle, and then they just fell apart. And then they went into New York, and they barely won that game. But it would just look so bad. And then it was Arizona, and then with everything on the line, with the division on the line, with with the number two, with the number 2 seed on the line, you choke. You come out there and you get beat by the Arizona Cardinals, and then the next following week you come out there and you look absolutely pathetic against the New York Giants, and then you say, you know what, we're going to give our players a half a game off, we're going to get some rest out there, we're going to go out here, we're going to have an extra day of padded practice, which we don't normally do, and we're going to go out here and we're going to fix things. And you come out and you put that same boring-ass offense out there on that football field. That same plain, predictable, telegraph offense to let everybody know what it is that you're doing. Pathetic, man. Brian Johnson gotta go. If he wants to be interviewed in Carolina, if they want to interview in Tennessee, listen, the Eagles fans do a great job of traveling and organizing some transportation and logistically, and they will get his ass down there to wherever it is he need to go. On a one-way trip, understand that, because there's nobody bringing him back to Philadelphia. All right, Matt Patricia got to go. If you're Jeffrey Lurie, you've got to fire everyone on his coaching staff, okay? The Philadelphia Eagles lose this game 32-9. Understand that. 32-9 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and this game wasn't even close. The Philadelphia Eagles never, understand what I'm saying, the Philadelphia Eagles never, ever had a chance in this football game. The Philadelphia Eagles looked like they didn't know how to play the football game. They were unprepared on offense. They couldn't beat the blitz. They didn't know. And it's like you just played this team earlier this year. You just played against a team and the Giants with Mark Whittendale, Wink, or whatever they call his name, okay? All right, and he blitzed you time after time after time after time after time after time again, okay? But you come out here, you don't run any real routes. Everything is down the field. There's no end breaking routes. There's no crossing routes. There's no rub routes. There's no drag routes across the field. There's no pick routes. There's no anything that'll help Jalen Hurts to try to beat the blitz. And so I wonder, is it Jalen or is it Nick Sirianni and his play designing? And I'm starting to lean toward it's Nick Sirianni and his play designing. But I ain't far away from saying that it's Jalen Hurts as well. I mean, you're already married into a contract with Jalen Hurts. You paid Jalen Hurts big money. I hope this is not a Carson Wentz situation. And understand what I mean by that. I mean by a situation where you pay a guy a whole lot of money, he turned out not to be the guy that you think that he is. And I'm not trying to abandon on Jalen Hurts. Listen, I understand all the accomplishments that Jalen Hurts had last year, okay? But understand that last year was last year. I'm talking about this year. And this year, we got to understand that Jalen Hurts regressed this year. There is no way that we should be in the position that we are in right now. And Jalen Hurts is a part of that equation. Howie Roseman is a part of that equation. Yeah, this defense was terrible, but this defense didn't have any real talent on it. This defense has an aging defensive line. A Fletcher Cox that's on there, a Brandon Graham that's on there. Okay, a Josh Sweat that's on there. Now, Josh Sweat, he might not be a old lineman, all right, but this is a guy who's dealt with some injuries at the same time. So this is a guy that when you dealing with the type of injuries that Josh Sweat dealt with and he had to overcome, that puts some age on you. And I don't know what happened, but there was an absolute collapse with Josh Sweat this year. Say that it wasn't. All right, listen. You got a couple young guys out there. Jordan Davis, we're going to have to figure out what's going on with Jordan Davis this year, okay? Not the production that you wanted to have from Jordan Davis toward the latter part of the season. The beginning of the season, I think we saw the best of Jordan Davis. Toward the mid to end of the season, Jordan Davis became non-existent. The biggest guy out there on the football field, you can't find him. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's the coaching staff. That's the training staff. That's the nutritionist. That's a problem. Got to figure that out because that's an absolute problem. Bradbury, that's a problem that's going to handle itself. There's absolutely no way that Bradbury comes back next year. You had him out there on the football field all year for what? Why? Because you're paying Bradbury some money? Bradbury, you know what? Bradbury is costing you games. He's costing you money and he's costing you games. All right? Sometimes you got to cut off the leg to save the body. Understand what I'm saying there. All right, should have played some of them young guys a long time ago and told Bradbury, listen, my man, listen, have a seat, sit your ass on the bench. All right, and we'll listen. If we need you to come in, you'll be ready for us to come in there and give us some good minutes. But for right now, we need to let these young guys play. You're killing us out there, period. But that's not what happened. All right, because no one on this coaching staff has any real balls. And I don't know if Nick Sirianni has any real gravitas. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if Nick Sirianni has any gravity, has any weight to be able to make any decisions out there. All right, who's calling the shots right now? Is it Howie Roseman? All right, we know ultimately Jeffrey Lurie calls all the shots out there. But is it Howie Roseman for calling these shots? How do you explain an absolute putrid performance from your offense tonight? All right. Jalen Hurts, 25 for 35 for 250 yards, 1 touchdown. All right, putrid. Looked bad most of the night. 35 attempts. That's the only reason why we got up to that 250 yards. Thanks to a wonderful effort from Devontae Smith. He had 8 receptions tonight for 148 yards. Devontae Smith did. The next closest receiver that had any kind of production was DeAndre Swift with 4 catches for 32 yards. All right. I mean, listen, why Devontae Smith was the only one who had that type of output? Well, Devontae Smith is a dog. Point blank, period. All right. When it comes time to pay Devontae Smith, you pay Devontae Smith whatever his money is worth. Whatever it's worth. We'll figure out what we're going to do with A.J. Brown. We'll figure out what we got to do with anyone else that we're trying to keep out there. I'm not even sure whose contract's up, who's worth paying any money to right now. As far as I'm concerned, everyone is being reevaluated. Everyone. Including the quarterback you just paid $250 million to. Unfortunately, you got to figure something out there, and if it ain't happening with the coach, if the reports are true that came out earlier before the game tonight that Jalen Hurts has been unhappy with Nick Sirianni and Brian Johnson, then they both got to go. Point blank, period, because Jalen's not going anywhere. That's the bottom line. All right. Running game tonight. I heard all week long, we heard that the Eagles were going to focus in on the running game this week, that they were going to lean on the linemen. They were going to do the things that got them where they were. They were going to try to return back to the team that they were used to being. And by doing that, they were going to get back to that running game. DeAndre Swift tonight had 10 carries for 34 yards. Understand what I'm saying? 10 carries for 34 yards. In the first series that they had, he had a couple carries, and after that, the Eagles threw the ball like 12 straight times before DeAndre Swift touched the ball again. They got away from it. Now, Brian Johnson, okay, what he'll tell you is after the media, after the game, when he has a chance to talk to the media, whenever he gets a chance, or maybe Nick Sirianni will or whatever, they'll say, yeah, well, we wanted to come out and run the football, but then we were down, and then we got down 2 scores, and then no. You had an opportunity to run the football in this game. This game for a little while was not away from you. At one point in time, this was a 16-9 football game. Okay. All right, we had a lot of passes out here tonight when they were blitzing time after time after time. Any other time when they blitz, we see a quarterback draw. Where was the quarterback draw tonight? Where was it tonight when Jalen Hurts didn't have time to even step back to his 3rd foot? So when he to drop back to hit his 3rd step to throw the ball, he didn't have time to do that tonight. All right, because so many times we saw Jalen Hurts sitting in the empty set. All right, not with a running back to chip, not with a tight end back there to block, not with a condensed formation. Why not run some 12 personnel? You know what I'm saying? You got Devontae Smith. Why not run some more 12 personnel? Keep someone in the block. All right, and help Jalen Hurts be able to read the routes and help them develop down the field and make some clear reads for him while you got guys blitzing in. Or while you got guys blitzing in and you got some help back there, you got a running back and you got an extra tight end in to help out. How about then you find some quarterback draws, you let Jalen Hurts drop back, hit his 3rd step, and then run like he has been doing in other games past. I mean, where was the creativity? Where was the pre-planning into this game on how to deal with the blitz? We didn't run into the blitz with a running back. We didn't run into the blitz with a quarterback. I saw no quick slants. I saw no in routes. I saw no rub routes. I saw no drag routes. I saw no anything as far as what we're going to do to beat the blitz. Tampa Bay knew every outlet, every time that they were going to apply any kind of pressure to you, where the Philadelphia Eagles were going to go with the ball, and they rallied and made the tackle every single time. It was like clockwork. And it was for the whole world on national television to see. And how fitting was it? All right, like I wanted to rant and rave and go into a big old crazy thing about this football game, but I'm gonna tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, whoever is watching this particular show right here on this reaction to the Philadelphia Eagles getting spanked by the Tampa Bay Bucs 32-9. All right, I'm exhausted. Bottom line is I'm exhausted from yelling and screaming and being emotionally distraught over watching this Philadelphia Eagles football team, and for me to have more care, more passion, more emotion, more pride in what this football team is doing than what they're showing out there exhibiting on the football field. Yeah, they come to practice every day. Yeah, they lift weights every day, this, that, and the third and all that. But when they get out there on the football field, they play like it don't matter. All right, and if they were playing like it was something different, then it would show like it was something different. And I understand that those players out there ain't playing out there by themselves. I understand that they got coaches that's telling them what to do, and they got to run the plays that's being called. But there's some effort involved. There's effort involved in tackling. These coaches are not out there tackling for you. These coaches are telling you what to do, and it's up for you to go out there and execute it. And today, I saw poor execution. I saw poor run blocking. I saw poor pass blocking. I saw poor execution on route discipline. I saw poor execution on tackling. I saw poor execution on run fits. I saw poor execution on getting off blocks. I saw poor execution on play calling on both sides of the ball, on offense and on defense. I saw a complete lack of accountability from the entire football team, and for that reason alone, Jeffrey Lurie, you have gotten a big decision to make. You've got to get rid of everybody. Everybody. You've got enough talent on this team. Okay, there's going to be enough free agents out there. Okay, you will be able to retool and regroup and get your team back together. All right, but what you've got to do is you've got to go out there and get someone that can be a steward of this shit. You got to get someone that can right whatever wrong has been done before. If the things get too far off track and you lose what you already got, what already valuable asset that you have here with this Philadelphia Eagles football team, you've got to do it. You've done it before. You've not been scared to do it. You've done it with Chip Kelly. You've done it with Doug Peterson. He went and won an actual Super Bowl. All right. And a couple years later, when you saw that it was getting rotten from the top, you had to go ahead and let it go. All right. And it's very mandatory right now. It's absolutely unequivocally, without a doubt, a fact that Nick Sirianni has lost this football team. Embarrassing. Baker Mayfield today, 22 of 36 for 3 touchdowns, 119 quarterback passer rating. Baker Mayfield threw for over 300 yards. He had 337 yards, I believe he had today. I didn't write it down, but I believe that's what he had. Okay, the running game today, 18, Rashard Wright, 18 carries for 72 yards. Again, Philadelphia Eagles defense was not stopping anybody. This Philadelphia Eagles team just came out and they just didn't. They looked like the same team that came out when they played the New York Giants. They did not believe in what the coaches had been prepping them to do all week. They did not believe in the game plan. This coaching staff did not change any part of the game plan. These players was like, you're going to have me go out here and do the same exact thing that I already know is not going to work, that I already know is not working. How do you expect for me to go out there and give you my all and my effort? I mean, let's just be honest here. If you a player, if I'm a player, and I'm a player, but I ain't no dummy, okay? And I'm doing something, I'm out here and I'm in the game, and I'm telling you, coach, this stuff is not working. We can tell. We looking on TV. I mean, we can see how bad we look. We in the game, and I know this is not working, and you're not bright enough to see that this is not working, that we need to make some adjustments, and you just telling me that we just need to execute better. Like, I'm not executing good. No, coach, these are bad play calls. These are bad. You're putting us in bad positions here on offense and on defense, and you're allowing for this to happen. And because Nick Sirianni, because you are allowing for this to happen, my man, you deserve to be fired. You deserve to be fired. I understand. Listen, that you've been in 3 playoff games. I understand you've been to the playoffs for 3 straight years in a row. I got it. I get it. I understand that you've had 3 winning seasons. Okay, 3 straight seasons in a row, including last year. We were 14-3, and we went to the Super Bowl. I got it. And we almost won the Super Bowl. I got it. But how do you explain what happened toward the end of the season and what happened in the playoff game and the status of what the team is right now? How do you explain that? Nothing you could do could make this any better. I didn't see anything in the game tonight against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that was any different than what I've seen from the last 7 weeks from this football team right here. And if you want to extend that to go back further, because I know there were some games that we won that we very, very easily could have lost. All right? And it's been in a lot of our wins, okay? They very easily could have been losses. I understand every game that the Philadelphia Eagles have come out and they've said that, we winning, but we just not playing our best. Something's not quite right. Well, now it's been stinking and now it's absolutely straight rotten. So we gotta clean. So something's got to be done. Jeffrey Lurie has got to make decisions. There's tons of coaches out there right now. All right, and I hate to be someone to call for somebody's job, but there's no other answer other than to fire head coach Nick Sirianni. He's got to be gone. It's got to be gone. I understand that some of the players out here are terrible. And Avonte Maddox, I was a fan of Avonte Maddox for a long time, but he's absolutely lost something. I don't know if you want to kick the can on Avonte Maddox one more time next year and see what he got. I'm not sure what his contract situation is right now, if he's coming back or not. But I mean, man, I want to think that him coming back from his injury this year still was hampering him some. He wasn't quite the player that I know him to be, and maybe next year he'll be a little bit better than that. But I mean, other than that, man, Byers got to go. It's not a guy that I see that we need him to have him here going into next year. Darius Slay's got to go. Bradbury's got to go. If Maddox is gone and then Roby is gone, I mean, we're looking at a whole new secondary now. We know we got some young guys in there. You got Eli Ricks. You got who we got? We got Eli Ricks. We got Keely Ringo. All right, we know we got Isaiah Rodgers that we plucked off from Indianapolis. He was just suspended for this year. He'll be ready to play next year. We got a couple other young guys that got a chance to play early in the year. We got to figure some things out, man. You know, we can't be scared to go young. We see how young Green Bay is, and that young, energetic talent and energy is something that you need. You know, the guys are fearless, and I don't know what happened with Nick Sirianni. I'm not quite sure what happened, man. He had a pulse on his team. He had a pulse on the city. But I think that this is a marriage that's headed for divorce very fast. And there's no other way. You know, there's no reconciling this. I think the best thing for both parties is just for us to go our separate ways, man. Philadelphia Eagles absolutely get embarrassed, man, in a playoff game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lose 32-9. The Philadelphia Eagles lose 32-9 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll have more reaction from head coach when we hear from the players and some other things, man. But this is a quick instant reaction to the Philadelphia Eagles losing 32-9. Nick Sirianni has lost this team, and we have lost this game, and the season is over for your Philadelphia Eagles. I'm TK the Official. This has been TK Sports Talk. Go Birds.